physician. Graduated from University of Mississippi School of Medicine, went to the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga as far as my residency is concerned. I've been in the medical arena for about 28 years. I've been doing sort of alternative, holistic, integrated medicine for the past 22 years. And I have been heavily involved in frequency-based medicine for the past 20 years. So I've studied the different wavelengths, electromagnetic spectrum, about every one of them, including scalar wave technology. Sort of been at, so I've had this device for about 3 weeks actually, and have seen amazing results here in the clinic with it.
Realize that you had such a deep background in frequencies, and this is amazing how it can be applied to wellness and heating up the bone marrow, and I'm learning more and more every single day. And so I'm hoping that I can share laughs. So I'm really looking forward to people that can share their testimony, and I'll go last because.
But one thing,
go ahead.
One thing that I've noticed, I'm very sensitive to electromagnetic energy because I've been doing this, like I said, for 18 years. I've got about every device under the sun, from scalar technology to just regular infrared and far infrared technology, and pulse electromagnetic frequency devices out the wazoo. But the issue here is this is an interlap in between far infrared heat. And so there's on your body. And I saw so many results with that. It was incredible in my office, just far infrared heat, when it's about 99%. So it's heating up the bone marrow, and it's actually creating light. This is just light frequency. Everything is light. You are light. And you have the body that heals from the inside outside. So when you provide these frequencies, whether it be far infrared, which interlaps with this technology here, with the terahertz technology, that there's a healing that goes on from the inside out. And that's what you want to do. A lot of things heal from the outside in, and we get
thinking about what happens when we put that terahertz water in.
Well, everything vibrates at a frequency. It doesn't matter if it's your thoughts, color, sound, it's whatever that we're associated. We are energy beings, and I call myself 80% of our being is spiritual, which is light. It goes back to the light frequency. Well, our water, which we're about 75% water in content, it has the same wavelength of about 6.27 microns. So what we're talking about with the terahertz frequencies, that you're having to meet that frequency level, and it causes a vibration of that water, which causes it to align. So when you align water, you increase the ability to absorb things. Your nutrients improve, your supplements. And you have to be careful sometimes with people on medicines, because you'll see they don't need as much medicine. I'm already seeing this as a fact right now with blood sugar. So when you're actually using this phenomenon here, is that I have noticed the same thing. The water, after a couple of hours or so, starts taking on a different taste. I've never have had that happen with any other water in my entire life. And I really believe it's because of the microclusters that are being bursted, and this allows it to have the linear transformation. So it sort of breaks the angle. You have an angle, I think it's like 109 degrees or so, of the water molecule itself. So when you break this angle, then you allow things to not adhere and cluster up, and things become more in linear fashion. And when you change the dynamics of things, this is just my opinion about things, you also change the characteristics of it. I've noticed with scalar energy, see, I use scalar energy a lot of times, is I'll put it in the refrigerator, and I'll put 1 scalar energy water and I'll put it in the same type mason jar. Just buy 2 mason jars there, and I put them along each other, and you'll find out that one will freeze and the jar will just completely break in about 24 hours in the freezer. The other one won't break at all, actually. It's no evidence, and you'll see the structure. You'll also notice that there's a lot of bubbling that goes on with these waters. So it's like a phenomenon we use with hydrogen water. You see a lot of bubbles, micro bubbles associated with this. And my wife was pointing out, because the other day I forgot which my water was terahertz charged. And she said, well, this one has bubbles and this one doesn't. I said, well, that explains it right there. So I went ahead and drank the one that had the bubbles in it. After many hours, so the bubbles should have already been calmed. So it's definitely changing the characteristics of the water. And so I don't really have an answer. I have an answer for everything. I don't know if it's right. I don't know if anybody's even looked into this, actually, to be honest with you. But that's my best opinion about it.
The 80s, and I've used some black cumin seed oil, which does help reduce inflammation. However, it's that pain is still there. I started running the machine on high heat, and then I heard Dr. Cochran talk about any part of your body that has inflammation, run your machine without the heat and just run it in a circular motion around your area. So I started doing that, and I can get out here and mow the grass on 2 acres. I got a push electric mower, so I have to stop every now and then and let those batteries recharge. But we got long, you Dr. Lucky, you were just out here in Washington. We got real long days right now, so I cut the grass till after midnight Eastern time. So anyway, really grateful. And that's the big thing, is that reduction in that inflammation. And then the other thing I noticed when I got the Pro device, it has a higher terahertz frequency. I have chronic liver problems, and I run the machine over my liver area on the Pro device. I was running the Classic, but I had to keep it about that far off of my liver, maybe about 8 to 10 inches off of my liver, because that heat's pretty hot. And then I got the Pro, and but the Classic did this for me. I had to have a procedure done, and they got blood products for me in case I needed it, because I've got chronic liver problem. And in case I was having coagulation problems, during that procedure, the surgeon had some extra blood on hand. And he said, oh, you sailed right through it. You didn't need any extra blood products. And that's a part, and that was the Classic blower. And then the last thing I'll share is when I got the Pro, I noticed that my endorphins, my serotonin level, and my blood pumping through my brain is just, the energy is just shot way up. And I think that's all direct result of my liver regenerating. And it is a marvelous organism. The part that's not damaged, because I do have cirrhosis from a long, long time ago, the part of the liver that's not damaged can't keep regenerating, from what I understand, Dr. Lucky. So I could just sit here all day and talk about what this machine's done. It's a blessing from the higher powers. So thank you.
The potential of it is absolutely incredible, because you generate stem cells, and your stem cells, regardless of what the doctors say, whether things can be regenerated, the body has capability to regenerate in every organ in the entire body, including the central nervous system. We used to not think that the central nervous system was any hope for it. It was just static, and it was over pretty much. If you had damage to it, but no longer. It's been proven that you can regenerate the whole entire body. So you can use this to generate your stem cells. And I've been seeing just in this short little period of time, people with blood sugar problems, and I like to stay away from labels of things, but blood sugar problems and blood pressure problems, I see tremendous changes in people's blood pressures, as well as blood sugars, especially if they're on medications already. and everything is just static as far as the amount that are taken. They have to be real careful and not be, in denial of things by not watching these things. You have to make sure your blood sugar is being looked at, your blood pressure. I had one gentleman that had a blood sugar. He told me never less than 170, 180 ever, even with medication. And now his blood sugar is running 110 and no higher than 110, 120. And he has only did this 3 or 4 times in the first place in the past month. So you have to be really, really careful when you take medications because you're making the body not have to use as much energy resources when you get the body what it needs. This is what it's all about. It's giving the body what it needs. And this allows your cells to become more in a normal fashion because it's working with your body instead of against your body. So when you work with your body, you don't need as much of the other medical therapy. And essentially, I look at it as you don't hardly need a massage therapist anymore, or a chiropractor, or even a medical doctor half the time. You're just going to have to look and see how far this can truly take you, because I think it's unlimited what this can do for a person's health. And I'm just saying, I mean, I can just tell you things, like I said, of people that personally come to see me that medically I think are pretty much impossible in the past 3 weeks. And so quick, too. Usually the people have the effects like the same day.
Incredible. You got anything you could share with us?
We don't even have the product yet, so we're working on it.
Okay. Glad you're here.
Yeah.
Okay. Any last closing thoughts then, Dr. Lucky? This is exciting.
Well, I believe the qualifications of having this device is if you're breathing, if you have a pulse, and you have cells. That's the qualifications of it, essentially, because it doesn't really matter about what kind of label that someone puts on you, or that's all medical terminology, and health has nothing to do with medical terminology. It has to do with the spiritual nature of a person, the physical nature and the makeup of what God has put into the earth for us to partake of. And so when you actually have all those, there's unlimited potential when you put something that's totally natural in your body, to your immune system, to your body, that you can feel instantaneously the first treatment. I mean, it's really incredible, if you would call this treatment. I don't like calling it treatment either. But just to blow on a particular joint or whatever the medical problem is, actually. And like I've seen already in this short period of time, of probably dealing with like 10 people, I've already seen half of what people have actually already have talked about in testimonies previously. I even saw today a lady that had varicose veins, and I actually did 5 minutes on her ankle, not even looking at the varicose veins. She was swelling in her legs bilateral because she's got congestive heart failure and on medication that promotes that. But I saw those varicose veins, so I just sort of focused in those varicose veins. And by the time I got finished, not only that side, the varicose veins were 80% better, but the other side that I didn't even treat on the other ankle was the same way. And she noticed, she said, they're coming over here too. And she was so excited. I'm like, wow, that's so simple, but just so quick. Every day I'm seeing something that's absolutely amazing, because you can't see that in the medical field. They do this vein stripping and this painful process. And here things are actually being dealt with in a matter of minutes. It's, 10, 15 minutes of things you just don't see in the medical field. Even what I have done, which I've done everything in the world as far as natural type medicine is concerned, from supplements to all the different technologies that I have here. I've not seen anything quite like this in my entire life. I'd say right now I've had probably 90% of the people that I have dealt with, and I see very ill people. I don't see healthy people. My population is usually stage 3, stage 4 malignancies, and people have horrible autoimmune diseases that no one can deal with. People that come in beds and that type of things, that they're given no hope whatsoever, because I look at things from a spiritual perspective to begin with, in dealing with that spiritual aspect in people, because that really can heal regardless of what machines you use. But now this is technology you can add to the toolbox here, and you can do this at home. That's what's so beautiful about this, is you can, an 80-year-old can blow a hairdryer on their joints. I mean, it's incredible, actually. What a tool, what a blessing. And we got to keep this blessing, available, but we're going to see great things with this.
I agree, Dr. Lucky. Thank you for your time today. I'll post this up on the Telegram customer group. And I wanted to share one lady. She must have been in her early 80s. So she called me from Colorado and said, I want one of those machines. I want you to sign up my son underneath me right away. She was a fireball. I can't wait to see what happens when she gets her machine. So anyway, thank you for your time, everybody. And